Hi, this is the final presentation in the series on writing strategies. In the previous videos, you have seen a variety of patterns and techniques which you have applied in your writing workshops. Cause and effect and process analysis are the final two writing patterns which will wrap up the theoretical part of the course. Let's begin with cause and effect. Writers use cause and effect strategy to show and to explain the relationship between different events, actions, and even objects. Every day we ponder the causes and effects of events that have happened in our lives. We often ask ourselves the reasons why certain things have happened. Why does it always rain on my days off? Why does Jim like skydiving? We also often consider the future effects of our actions. If I don't study for the math exam, I might fail the course completely. You must attach Part A to Part B first, or else Part C won't fit properly, and then the bike probably won't work at all. Even though we don't always have the answers to our questions, it seems to be in our nature to wonder about the effects or consequences of past, present, and future actions. The relationship between different actions is at the heart of the cause and effect strategy. The style and sequencing of events in this type of pattern vary a great deal. There are many possible pattern combinations. One cause can have one effect. One cause can have many distinct effects. One effect can have one or more causes. One cause can produce a series of causes and effects. With a sequence of causes and effects, we can demonstrate the snowball effect of certain actions. The following narrative of a series of actions illustrates this causal relationship between actions. Monday was a disaster. First, I slept through the alarm. When I did wake up, I only had 15 minutes to get ready and to catch the bus so that I could get to school on time. I scrambled to find something to wear, a nearly impossible task considering I had forgotten to put the load of laundry I had washed the night before into the dryer. Wearing a pair of wrinkled, somewhat soiled pants was much more appealing than wearing a cold, wet pair. I had to catch the 7:15 bus or I would be late for class and for a test. Finally dressed, I grabbed my books and coat and ran out the door. Just as I came around the corner, I saw the bus pull away from the stop. I decided to go back home and have a coffee, since I had to wait a half hour for the next bus. Standing in front of my locked door, fumbling through the contents of my pockets in search of my keys, that I then saw sitting on the table on the other side of the door, where I had placed them the night before, I realized that no matter what I did that day, nothing was going to go according to plan. It was going to be a total disaster. In this passage, the author only supplies us, the readers, with the immediate causes and effects. Getting up late, missing the bus, being late for a test, and so on. If the narrative had continued, we may have been introduced to more remote causes and effects. Perhaps the author had stayed up late studying for the test as a last-minute effort to make up for not having kept up with the work in the course. On the other hand, the author could have led us to a future cause and effect. Having missed the test, the student would have had to contact the teacher, explain the situation, and hopefully write the test at another time. If retaking the test wasn't a possibility, the eventual consequence would have been the loss of marks and the lowering of his overall average. The method of organizing and explaining causes and effects will change according to your purpose and your audience. If your purpose is simply to inform, you may choose a more narrative style, like the one used a moment ago. Notice that the author began with the overall effect. Monday was a disaster. The explanation of that statement is a series of causes and effects. The concluding statement then brings us back to that topic sentence. If your purpose is to persuade, you will want to use the cause and effect strategy as the basis for your argument. If you want to emphasize the cause, it would be incorporated into your topic sentence or thesis statement. The effects would then become your supporting statements, your explanation, and your argument. If, on the other hand, the effect is central to your argument, the topic sentence will focus on the effect, and the causes will follow as supporting statements. No matter which method of organization you choose, always make sure that the support statements explain and demonstrate the topic sentence, and that the concluding sentence brings the reader back to the central idea. As always, the choices you make depend on your purpose and your audience. The organizational pattern should complement these two factors. Knowing your audience and having a clear purpose are the first steps in planning your strategy and to writing effectively. A process is a series of steps or actions which are completed in a set order and which produce specific results. Each step is dependent on the others. Every day we perform many processes, most of which have become automatic. When we cook a meal, set the VCR to tape a movie, do the laundry, or do the dishes, we are performing a process. If we don't follow the proper sequence of steps, we don't get the results we desire. For example, if you put your new bright red flannel shirt in the same load as your white socks, you'll end up making a fashion statement with your new pink socks. Because you eliminated the first step of the process, sorting the clothes, you changed the outcome of the process. Choosing between two types of process analyses, informational and instructional, depends on your purpose: to inform or to instruct. For example, in an auto mechanics class, the instructor would have to inform the students how an automatic transmission works. He or she would have to explain the steps which the piece of machinery completes in order to achieve the desired result of automatically changing gears. In another class, the same instructor would tell the students how to fix an automatic transmission. All the steps would have to be set out in detail and in the right order. The consequences of missing a step would also have to be pointed out. When describing a process, we must follow the set chronological order. However, we can interrupt the process analysis to add detail to a step or to elaborate on the consequences of not completing a specific step accurately. Nevertheless, the order must always remain the same. Using signal words such as first, second, then, next, and finally helps you keep a clear focus on the process you are detailing and helps the reader follow and verify the different steps. To replace the remote control batteries, first remove the protective cover by pressing on the indented area and sliding the cover out. Next, remove the dead batteries. Discard them immediately. Now replace the batteries, making sure you insert the positive end in the correct position, as marked on the inside of the battery compartment. Finally, secure the cover by sliding it back into place. The steps can also be enumerated to stress and clarify the individual steps. To replace the remote control batteries: 1. Remove the protective cover, press on the indented area and slide the cover out. 2. Remove the dead batteries. Discard them immediately. 3. Replace the batteries. Make sure to insert the positive end in the correct position, as marked on the inside of the battery compartment. 4. Secure the cover by sliding it back into place. A short process analysis can be followed easily with using signal words. However, a longer process benefits from the use of numbers. If the process is very complex, you can divide the process into main steps and then subdivide those into smaller ones. You must still maintain the proper order. When you have finished writing a process analysis, make sure that each step is clearly explained and that it leads to the next step, and ultimately to the final result. Also, check that you have explained any technical words you have used. If you include a diagram with your instructions, ensure that it is clearly labeled. This concludes today's presentation on cause and effect and process analysis techniques. In fact, this concludes the series on writing techniques and strategies. You will be putting the theoretical information presented in these videos into practice in your writing workshops, and hopefully in other writing assignments you have in the future. Thank you and good luck with your studies.